This is really unusual because the sort of house lights are partly up and you can see the audience. Now you've got some feedback forms on the table. That's fantastic. The trick is to wait until you've seen something before you fill out the feedback form. So I'm only saying that because I had to meet Sean earlier tonight and he'd already started filling it out when he sat down about 7 o'clock. And I saw my name at the top. I didn't see what he'd written, but we've probably got a 50-50 chance of him being right, I reckon. Either way, so let's find out what happens. Communication and how people communicate with each other. I've been really interested in this recently. There was a couple of things that kind of caught my attention about the different ways, like individuals talk to each other, groups talk to each other, businesses talk to us as consumers and all that kind of stuff. And there was a few, and what triggered it off for me was Jehovah's Witness. Nothing happened. Now, what I noticed was they've kind of ramped up their act a bit, and they've got a jw.org site now. I don't know if you've investigated this or gone to see it, but they've really got a lot of street cred gone online. They're still offering to answer life's big questions, which is brilliant. So I tried it out. 2 questions, not very impressed. First question. Why is it 20 years since Scotland's qualified for the World Cup? Nothing. No response whatsoever. And I'm talking about the round ball World Cup. I'm talking about the real thing, not this Mickey Mouse thing that's kind of happening at the moment. So, no, I'm really happy because Scotland's top of the table at the moment in their pool division. Yeah. I know, it'll last for about another 24 hours, I think, till the next game, 36 hours, but that's really good. So, so that was one. I thought, oh, they didn't do too well there. But they could answer me the meaning of life. But it's no use to me, it's not what I need. I need to know why Auckland City Council charged nearly $1,000 for resource consent to build a $600 shed in my back garden. Nothing. Not a thing. So I flagged that, thought that's not going to help me, and I was looking at some other stuff, and I came across a pile of real estate information. I know, they communicate in a really interesting way. They kind of have a... There might be some from the real estate... Anybody in real estate here tonight? Cool. Right, in that case, they're a bunch of lying, thieving... No. They've got a great way in their communication of being able to kind of stretch things in how they describe properties. Have you noticed that? So there was one recently that was up in Church Bay, and it said that home forever by the sea. And I looked at this and I thought, now by the sea, I'm looking at this place, it's surrounded by fields in Church Bay. I'm thinking, by the sea for me is maybe Oniroa Main Street. You know, that's kind of like by the sea. This was kind of, it's a bit like saying Ponson Bay is by the downtown ferry terminal. You know, probably contextually in relationship to Thailand, they could get away with it, but in reality, you just kind of, it just doesn't kind of gel. So I was kind of curious about that. Put that lot to one side, I had a look at who else, and then restaurants came to mind. Now, I don't know about you, but I used to remember the days when there were kind of places on the island you could go and buy a sandwich. You know what I mean? Or a sausage roll, or a pie, other than the bakery, which was fantastic. You get a milk tea, you know, and you could hand over $5 and you can actually get something to eat other than, you know, half a scone. You know what I mean? It was just really interesting. And the number of people who own restaurants have told me, you don't understand. It's as much about the atmosphere and the ambience as it is about the food. And I'm thinking, well, if you're going to charge me $35 for a piece of fish on a plate, I think I would rather have something a bit more exciting than a teenager whose voice is barely broken just put the plate down on the table. Do you know what I mean? I'm looking for an experience of something like a juggler on a unicycle, juggling 2 talking dogs, blindfold. Not the dogs, the juggler. You know what I mean? Now something like that might be worth, you know, paying $35 for a $5 piece of fish. Close, I'm not too sure. So I thought restaurants, they don't really do it for me either. And then, not that long ago, I went to get some blood taken. You know, like you know the blood test thing they do. So I'm sitting there. They kind of get the rubber band round. You know, they sort of pump up the vein, and just before they're about to put the needle in the arm, out of nowhere, the person just says, "Little prick." Now I thought, I'm a bit confused here. I'm not sure if they're telling me what they think of me. I'm not sure if they're describing the sensation I'm about to experience, or if they're inquiring about the size of a certain piece of my anatomy. And I wanted to kind of clarify, because I'm going to give the correct response. So I thought, the last thing I want, if they're describing the sensation I'm about to experience, and I just leap to my feet, flop the willy out on the table and go, "Take a look at that then. I think you'll find that perfectly adequate, thank you very much." I'm probably going to get myself into a lot of trouble. So I put all that stuff away and I thought, one of the big things we need to be able to do is just understand where people are coming from so we can avoid some confusion. And that's one of the great reasons why Kim is our MC tonight, because he absolutely helps us avoid any confusion in the ongoing games coming up. Thanks very much. See you again soon.